Hello, dear Attorney General Barr, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. Your sources with state police. There's a state police officer named Officer Poisian who's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated racketeering roles with a whole bunch of Weathersfield police and with child sex offenders. Proven, but he's with further racketeering uses of their families. Now, these are state police forms and families with their kids involved with racketeering on off CCSU since I was a kid with the child campuses used for racketeering. There are a whole bunch of people as and tied to a Delafair family. I never had a class with them. They pretended to know me behind my back, and I barely know them with only confessions by them. They were involved with racketeering with judges, with probate courts, with a whole bunch of doctors also associated with drugs crimes with the kids, and uses of them for racketeering, where they invest the people into evidence reception roles that are criminally foreign influenced, and then they have to self value that in the future while it's maintained needed self-valued. So we have states attorneys criminally foreign influenced involved with racketeering. They're also lying about what is actually recorded over the internet. And with judges, we have judges recorded involved with states attorneys forging names, switching names, with police officers using that crime method of forging names and switching names, enforcing sexual, medical, and educational health abuses, medical abuses, judicial abuses of our kids. Now, these are people also pretending that people have mental diagnosis by doctors with their kids and their family pretending they had conversations with people, as drug clicks involved with a whole bunch of people in the Britain Superior Court, involved with a whole bunch of people also on and off the state judicial branch offices, like with a Fienza family, and with people on and off locations with Fox Connecticut News. Now, there's a Kerr family also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with FBI racketeering and with overt criminal enterprises and with the same judges and prosecutors through time, like a prosecutor named Soulsby. I never had a conversation with him. He's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated also tied to a Brian Silver. I also never had a conversation with, and they're also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated tied to a scuba shack on the South Steen Highway that's directly and indirectly involved with all kinds of people with racketeering with them, like a CM Faglione family. Also, now these are people that are preventing writing while they're pretending other because they just put a charge and they put no writing. They confessed and recorded that they forged names and switch arresting officers' names. So note that's human trafficking. Also with WFSB, attach me and my family and kids to fake locations and to fake ties to other people, sick people, especially if some of them have badges and whatever like that, like a Joshua Julian. They also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated how they have a whole bunch of crime methods and uses of Facebook and online policing of the platforms. So they have the platforms involved with criminality that is also involved with the interbranch racketeering. And these are also foreign and domestic military on and off CCSU. CCSU through time is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with the racketeering of my grammar school against me with people I don't even know. Now that's tied to a former Mayor Gold, who's tied to some cliques with recorded and confessed and demonstrated Washington D.C. and Trade Center racketeering with uses of him of a Walters family and of people along routes in my town. People recorded and confessed and demonstrated tied to him with racketeering around the corner of the Samuel Dix house, down the street from that, a mobile gas station on the South Steen Highway. Keep going further, you go into Old Weathersfield, Old Town Cafe, places all the way along there. That go, that Church Street in Old Weathersfield has houses on there. Recorded, confessed, and demonstrated a whole bunch of ways involved with racketeering uses of CCSU since I was a kid, and of Trinity College as the same ones. Now, these are people also with elections crimes, criminal uses of election spots like town offices and like churches and like the locations on and off of them, not just like the park next to one of the locations, parks, but also, on and off fire department campuses also with them with Russians here involved with racketeering, also as the ones on and off Fox Connecticut News. Now they pretend they play stupid, forging names and switching names, pretend they don't understand people. They're also Weathersfield police recorded themselves threatening me to, if I call up the police, they're going to lie about what's actually recorded and get away with it because the judicial racketeering that already has their families involved criminally too. Now, and we have women involved with the problems with the child sex offenders, and we have their kids involved as racketeering tools. Now, these are also people. This is a database racketeering which ties all the different Facebook, YouTube has they have fake Facebook YouTube pages pretending to be me, using a picture they got from WFSB that attached me to fake locations, fake words, fake ties to others. If because I tried to report recorded, which they force sustained, which got caught anyway, a principal sex offender. But they hid his confessions about other people also recorded worse than him abuses of the kids. There are two Mendez police, and there's a Domain family also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with downtown Hartford, with FBI, with police front the clicks, and with their families, and with identity thefts, fake conversations with me, like a Janito Mendez, a fake. He put me in quotes, and he put the name of police equipment, and not pretended I had a conversation with him ever. In other words, these are database racketeering roles, and then they're pretending that stuff is real. They know it's not. So we have their treatments of, for example, oh, this guy's a billionaire and all that. Those people, those same courts are involved with racketeering that is as clear as day if you follow science actual with New York City. You know, it's all right, oh, but we can't defend ourselves and use that kind of science at the same time. Perfect world's forsaken. The perfect world's forsaken not by accident. They even have that maintained as the perfect world, that phrase used for the racketeering with the kids. Former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, is also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with Mueller and Comey with elections racketeering and with racketeering uses color as black, white, pink, all those, whatever. They're using that for racketeering, fake sides of correlation nature, which is why we are a species, individual, grouped, and species, because this correlation nature is a trinity. See, we have pseudosciences. They want to debate debatable out of context. They're also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated racketeering uses of exculpatory evidences crimes, hiding them, while they're simultaneously making up, fabricating inculpatory evidences and valuing that haven't been done through time. I just remind, they're also using the crime methods with my new and past neighbors. I don't know their names. They use a crime method where you don't let anyone use the name. This is a fact treatment nature racketeering. This is identity racketeering, originally and still on charge. This is, again, using cultures and stuff like that consciously, pretending people are prejudiced consciously and stuff like that. No, there's no care for follow mandated law. They're not letting me report things. If you go lie about over the phone, so I can't go over the phone. If you go down there, they forge names, switch names. They only have one officer named McGee. Now, there are a whole bunch of kids associated with Officer McGee and his family, too. But I don't know if it's the same one, because they said they only have one Officer McGee, and to me and my family. But they had used part of their threats, demonstrating threats, because they know they're forging names, switching names. They know they have no credibility. These are also Wethersfield police recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with people against my family in the Trade Center attack context. We were there right before the attack. Those same people were interstates with them racketeering through time, involved with the human trafficking. Again, of WFSB recorded as clear as day. They attached me to fake locations, fake conversations. They also have training of state police and like a Rock Hill Athletic Center, a Wethersfield one I never even went to, that Dr. Shub of Modern Languages also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. He's got a wife involved with people with a probate court, with foreign and domestic medical racketeering and drugs racketeering, and his kids are involved with that too. You see how they bring their kids in, because they use that so they can pretend things while they're ignoring people's voices. If you speak to state's attorneys are already involved with racketeering, judges, they're incapable of cases originally and still on a mass scale. Now, so we have elderly homes also involved with my new and past neighbors, with state police, Weathersfield police, and the people on and off CCSU, and a whole bunch of people in New Britain Superior Court and various natures of the same of other cities Superior Courts and other natures of courts like probate court, like a district court case in 2006, also involved with them with the racketeering. So they're recovering their libel aggressions from that. And when I speak, they have like Miss O'Neill, a teacher from West Hartford, who's got her kid in my town. She's pretending nervousness because I use the hashtag Sandy Hook. She makes all these overall allegations, and they act on those. And I don't even know her, but she's in recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with her kids and with WFSB, involved with child sex offenders, with other natures of racketeering, and with those natures of racketeering with them. I don't, so her kids. WFSB also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated that an O'Neill family who has with others also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. West Hartford has a whole bunch of foreign and domestic police forms that are also doctors of psychology that have racketeering uses of medical campuses and of databases with this racketeering method with each of the ages of campuses connected. And so they have a method that makes people like each other and not like each other and whatever, all differences used criminally in relationship to distances from these databases. And then this is maintained off campuses. Sustained self-value needs to hide what is from correlation and to hurt correlation from all that is discernible through what is actually recorded, which is database racketeering with the campuses, with Facebook, with the F.B.I, with C.I.A. Now have them pick one name in sequence because they have state police also with their daughters involved with CCSU. I don't know if they're state police, their daughters. I don't know their last name yet, but these are also people all along routes that are also involved with them with Russians criminally, and them criminally pretending to be against such. So let's go. Let's get them to one name in sequence from the 4G names, switching names, and sequence. These are elections racketeering too. You think they're capable of having an election? No. Now, no. Right through administrations. They hid this from the Obama administration, recorded consciously, criminally having been used him for the racketeering method that used color. He doesn't even realize it because everyone's with the perfect world forsaken for so long and exploited that way, not by accident. We have all we need for instant evolution right here recorded. See how North Iran doesn't want to have nuclear weapons, but they don't want to be. But every nation already individually grouped together is sick. So there are no alternatives that aren't sick too. So we're going to take over here. Have them follow the fake news and fix the fake news because the Southern District of New York City is also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with interstate racketeering with child sex offenders and pretending to be against that with this guy. Even if there are, if that's true, they're still involved with further racketeering with child sex offenders associated with the Ninth Circuit and with racketeering leading up to and in the Trade Center attack in Manhattan, as people already involved with racketeering uses of Washington, D.C. Again, with this Kerr family, Demoro family, Corona brothers, a Corona, all people I don't know, and I know of, and then people I know of, but not at all. I even walk by them like a Joshua Julian. He's like never had a conversation with him but online in my life, and he's also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with the racketeering with foreign and domestic military families involved with identity theft, forging names, switching names, falsified police reports, racketeering on and off CCSU. Also recorded and confessed with this tied to uses of the stewards of like leasing agents and all the programs where that are stayed off campuses, but they're connected to training from on campuses, like state police trained criminally. Their training is used to keep them criminally foreign influenced originally and still. Weathersfield Police, whole bunch of the Weathersfield Police chief's family, foreign and domestic, is recorded also involved with racketeering with a Fred Grisey. And with a whole bunch of people on and off the high school with people that went to private schools involved with drugs crimes with the database clicks and the identity theft clicks. So they also name stacking people and preventing response. See Renaissance. So, Officer Poison, you recorded, confessed, and demonstrated delusions, wrought, and involved with racketeering, with email, and with mail crimes, clicks, and with other natures of predicate acts, and with child sex offenders. Hey, yeah! Pick one name in sequence, get them done. Get the judges to one name in sequence too. Now, the judges are also recorded with these racketeering methods, preventing people free speech, lying, attaching us to fake behavior, fake words, fake ties to others, fake speech. Now they have to lie about our passions and emotions. Now these are gun natures of roles with natures of gun crimes, knife crimes, poison crimes, not just Trade Center. And then what happened? War crimes. We also have a whole bunch of people tied to a Justin Klevinskis, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with his neighbors, also involved with racketeering with military, foreign and domestic. Get these little punk fakes out done. You used to pick these little kids that you could beat up really easily. But I took a Taekwondo class across from the Wethersfield Police Department where it is now. A whole bunch of people associated with that Taekwondo place from the Wethersfield Police Department, also involved with racketeering on and off WFSB's locations with their racketeering uses of the media, of election spots, and of child sex offenders, and of doctors forging names, switching names, stealing people's identities, pretending they had conversations with me. You real sick fake punks. You cowards. Pick one name in sequence. Get this Leahy family out of the hospital. Get them done. And those other creepy people, I don't even know their names, with those doctors, foreign and domestic, tied to him with racketeering acts, mail crimes. We have a Judge Killian and other people, judges before him, though. I want to get the judges before him before we get that sick nature beast. Campus Smart CS rises knees. That's recorded. He's recorded at sick punk fake games, saying into records after he already communicated other. He's a fucking fake. Get them fucking done. How long do I have to ask you? This is worse than extortion too. They force people to ignore things. They exploit that. Get it done. Now they're using the recorded, confessed, and demonstrated wire crime rules, uses of the principal sex offenders campus then and now further. They have the Wethersfield police chiefs, again, his daughter, and people, a whole bunch of people tied to her daughter's husband. Now and their family members and their uses of their kids for racketeering, because they have to hide their life progressions. They have to hide how they stole people's identities for other natures of racketeering, other natures of drugs crimes with them. Oh, but we have the right to do that. No, you don't. Get done. Get her done. Officer Poison of State Police. There are further threats coming on the campuses, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, tied to people associated with your racketeering acts. So pick one name in sequence and respond. And for your physical delusions. And with the rest of the Wethersfield Police Chief, a whole bunch of retired and standing tied to a Dillon family with my new and past neighbors involved with racketeering with him, with child sex offenders, and with other natures of racketeering with them. Again, with database racketeering, mail crime rolls, wire crime rolls, real estate crimes also, intercities involved with the judges that need to hide their life progressions, because since before the Trade Center attack, they've been preventing me and others from reporting what they had a whole bunch of strangers confess. And that's how I learned more and more. Vaccines. Eric Burgess, for example. They attached me to fake. I never saw him on Central Connecticut campus in my entire life. He's recorded, confessed, demonstrated, involved with racketeering with state police, with military police, and with foreign and domestic, and with people on off locations like West Farms Mall, places next to them, racketeering with a whole bunch of foreign and domestic families involved, racketeering uses of these places. Uses of those are the same ones, intercities tied to CCSU training. A whole bunch of people with Lena's Pizza recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, also involved with racketeering with judges and with police forms and foreign and domestic military and overt criminal enterprises associated with Lena's Pizza, also involved with sexual circles that are involved with the child sex offenders that way, pretending emotions and passions real, but they're hiding their real emotions, passions. They're hiding their what really made their motivations. So fix the fake news and respond for them because they're using wire crimes where they're lie about what's recorded over the phone. They're forging names, switching names of officers. They only have one officer of it. These are also recorded criminal uses of each branch of government individually, then grouped and all together. So we have to deal with the crime methods and natures recorded as the individual courts and as the individual police locations, and then grouped. How they have crime methods also recorded group. Whole crime methods are recorded here. This is what keeps them criminally foreign influence, pretending other. Boxings.